What's up, guys? RK here again, and we've had a fun month, so I wanted to send you a quick update video. So started off a few-week trip heading over to Seattle and helping to marry Dan and Allie Whitson, and I'd like to announce that they are officially married. I didn't totally screw up the wedding, even though right in the middle of my speech I totally blanked out what I was supposed to say, but fake it till you make it. I figured it out, just blabbed my way, and I bet you people that were there didn't even know that I went blank in my brain. After the wedding, flew down to Paraguay. Me and my friend Bram were doing an Xtreme Evangelism school, and so basically the whole point of the school is to take normal, everyday believers and teach them, equip them, train them, and send them out to do, you know, the normal, everyday Christian life, which is operating in the supernatural power of God and seeing miracles and all that stuff. And so, since it's an extreme evangelism school, you know, we do things like teach people on healing and then send them out to the streets and say, hey, you know, don't come back until you've seen someone get healed and you have a testimonial video of it on your phone. And so, I mean, what happens is you send them out, and it works. They come back with testimony videos on their phone. So the first day I got there, Bram did this. He sent them out, and one of the guys came back, and he said, listen, I went and prayed for someone. They couldn't walk. After we prayed for them, they were able to get up and walk around, and this is the thing that just blew my mind. He said, I finally feel useful to the kingdom of God. And so that's what this school is about, is seeing people raised up like this. So our school, we had about 12 students, ranging from age of, I think they were probably like 18 to maybe like in their 50s. And so after we did the 2 weeks of training, we jumped on a boat, and Bram said, hey, I got us a houseboat to go up the river. And I think, yeah, this is going to be awesome. You know, I'm going to go and, you know, basically live on a hotel on a river. And then I got there, and look, this is what our boat looked like. Alright guys, I wanted to give you a quick tour of the boat while I still have some battery. So here, up here on the top, that's where we all sleep. It's nice sleeping under the stars unless it rains, and then I have no clue what we're gonna do. And then, let's see. And then here's where we eat. Alright, let me show you our bathroom. Nice. Shower, toilet, straight after the river. You gotta see the kitchen. And they have a fridge here, but I don't think they really ever use it for anything. Here's our bed. Chubby sleeping here. And so we jumped on this boat and we started heading up to a city, and we were literally on this boat for like 3 or 4 hours. We're all sleeping, and the thing breaks down in the middle of nowhere on the river in the Amazon, you know, or the rainforest on the Paraguay River. It's not the Amazon. But so they had to get a little boat, throw a motor on it, and take it down the river back to the city, and then come back with the part so they keep it going. So, but as we're going along, we would be going for like a couple hours, and then all of a sudden there would just be a small little village on the side of the river. This is one village we came to. They have 70 families here, around, you know, usually about 7 kids a family. So nearly about 500 people live in this little village. We were able to stop at a couple of these villages, and then we would send the students off to do what we call treasure hunts. If you've never done treasure hunts, you know, you sit there beforehand and you ask God, you know, where His treasures are. You ask Him where they're at, what they look like, what the problems that they're dealing with, you know, and everyone prays and they create a list, and we call it your treasure map. And so as you're going out to do evangelism in these areas, you're just going out and trying to find you know, this treasure that God revealed through your treasure map. So we sent the students out, and they're coming back with stories like, oh, we prayed for deaf people and they could hear. We prayed for people that were blind and they can see. And I mean, you know, it's just, fun time was had by all. And so we kept going up the river. We were going up the river for 3 days, and we got to a town called Puerto Casado. And same thing. We always start with treasure hunts in the beginning because you've never been there, you don't know what you're looking for, and it's a great way to just trust God to send you to the right people. So my group went out, we had our treasure maps, and one of the things on our map was a coconut tree, and another thing was knee problems. And so as we're going around visiting different houses, we asked the Paraguayans that were with us, said, hey, are there any coconut trees here? And they said, no, there's no coconut trees in this town. So we said, just ask this family that we're talking with. And so they asked them, they said, oh, there's one coconut tree in this town. And they said it's on the other side of town. So we started walking, trying to find this coconut tree. And I don't know, we probably walked for like half an hour, 45 minutes trying to find this coconut tree. When we finally found it, it was like a nun convent or whatever you call it, a place where the nuns hang out. And so we started talking and we said, hey, God sent us over here. This is what, we're trying to pray for. Do you have any of these conditions on our list? And they said, no, we don't have any of those. But as they read through the list, it said knee problems. And so they said, oh, the lady who lives across the street, she has knee problems that are so bad, she can't even barely get up and walk, and we gave her a coconut tree. So we're like, no way, that's who God has for us. So we go across the street, we knock on the door, they clap, and then the people come out. So she comes out, and we told her that God sent us to her to pray for her knees. And as we began to pray for her, she's just weeping and weeping and weeping. And so she tells us that morning, she says, every morning I pray the rosary, but she says, today for some reason, after I've done praying the rosary, I decided that I would just say to God, like, God, if you haven't forgotten me, if you still love me, if I don't have any sin in my life, would you please send someone to help me with my knees? And she said, this morning I prayed that, and we came like maybe an hour or two after that prayer and show up at her doorstep and say, hey, God sent us here to pray for your knees. And it was just amazing to see the timing and that God sees this lady in a small town off the river and says she's important enough to send us there to go and pray for her knees. So, anyways, spent a few days there, Puerto Casado, and there was no way for me to get back to the airport to come home to my family that would be quick enough. So my friend talked to another friend who had a little small Cessna, and so he flew the Cessna in. He goes, hey, before I land the plane, I need you to go clear the runway of donkeys. And so we had to get there early in the morning, make sure there are no donkeys on the runway. Jumped on this plane. Look at this plane. This is like a little tiny plane. I still don't know how I fit inside of it. But it took us 3 days to go up the river to get to this town. It took an hour and 20 minutes to fly in a plane from this town back to the big city. So got back to Asuncion, Paraguay, and jumped on a plane there. And after 31 hours, came back to my family, my wife, and my babies. And it's so good to be home. And so just wanted to say a big thank you, as always, for praying for us, for partnering with us. And if you're still watching to this part of the video, I'd like to say you're cooler than most people I know. All right, love you. God bless.